The strange signal. It was an ordinary night at the Marlow Space Observatory. The vast dome stood under a blanket of stars. Its large telescope pointed toward the infinite darkness of space. Inside, Dr. Emily Carter, a skilled but often overlooked astrophysicist, sipped her coffee, staring at her computer screen. For months, her team had been monitoring deep space signals. Most were just static or cosmic background noise, nothing important. Then, it happened. A faint signal appeared on the screen. At first, it seemed like another burst of random data from a distant star. But something about it was different. The rhythm, the repeating patterns, it felt deliberate, as if someone or something had crafted it. Emily leaned closer, her heart quickening. "Hey, Carl, come take a look at this," she called to her colleague across the room. Carl, a young and eager astronomer, rolled his chair over. He glanced at the screen and frowned. "That's weird. It's not the usual interference. Did you check the coordinates?" Emily nodded. "It's coming from the Lyra constellation. The signal's been repeating every 47 seconds for the last 3 hours. That's too regular to be natural." Carl scratched his head. Could it be a pulsar? "No, pulsars don't behave like this," Emily replied. Her voice lowered, filled with a mix of awe and curiosity. "It almost feels like a message." The dismissal. By morning, Emily had compiled her findings and sent them to the head of the observatory, Dr. Howard Benson. He was a senior scientist with decades of experience, but he was also known for dismissing anything that didn't align with his expectations. Dr. Benson skimmed through the data, barely glancing at Emily's notes. "It's just another anomaly," he said with a wave of his hand. "Probably a glitch in the equipment. We've seen this kind of thing before." Emily's heart sank. "But, sir, the pattern. It's too structured to be random. What if it's nothing?" Benson interrupted sharply. "We have more important projects to focus on. Don't waste time chasing shadows." Reluctantly, Emily returned to her desk, feeling frustrated but not defeated. She saved the signal data to her personal drive. Something deep inside her told her this was no ordinary signal, a hidden message. That night, long after her colleagues had left, Emily stayed in the observatory. The signal continued, steady and unchanging. She adjusted the telescope's settings, trying to get a clearer reading. As the hours passed, she began to notice something she hadn't seen before: hidden layers within the signal. It wasn't just a single pattern but multiple overlapping sequences. When she translated them into visual graphs, they formed strange, intricate shapes. "What are you trying to tell us?" she whispered to herself, staring at the screen. Emily decided to send the data to an old friend, Dr. Raj Patel, a cryptography expert. If anyone could decode the patterns, it was him. She emailed him with a simple note: "This might be important. Let me know what you think." The warning ignored. Over the next few days, the signal began to fade. By the end of the week, it was gone entirely. The observatory staff quickly forgot about it, moving on to other tasks. Dr. Benson never mentioned it again. But Emily couldn't let it go. She felt an unease she couldn't explain, as if the signal was trying to warn them about something. She thought about all the stories of mysterious signals in space, how some had been ignored, only for humanity to regret it later. Raj finally replied to her email. His message was brief but chilling. "Emily, this isn't random. It's a transmission. The patterns suggest it's from an advanced source. But there's more. It looks like a distress call. We need to talk." Emily's stomach tightened. The distress call. From who or what? A missed opportunity. Emily tried to share Raj's findings with Dr. Benson, but he dismissed her again. "We don't have time for wild theories," he said firmly. "Even if it's a signal, it's millions of light years away. It's not our problem." Emily felt helpless. What if the signal was a plea for help? What if they were ignoring something far bigger than themselves? She thought about leaking the data to other scientists. But without the observatory's support, no one would take her seriously. In the end, she could only watch as the world moved on, unaware of the strange message that had briefly reached out to them. The mystery deepens. Months later, strange things began happening. Satellites in Earth's orbit started malfunctioning. Astronomers noticed unexplained movements in the distant Lyra constellation. And then, one night, a bright flash lit up the sky, so bright it could be seen with the naked eye. Emily stood outside the observatory, staring at the phenomenon with a mix of awe and dread. She couldn't shake the feeling that the signal and the flash were connected. Unbeknownst to her, the signal sender had been watching Earth all along. And now, their message unanswered, they were coming to visit, whether humanity was ready or not. The silent watchers. In the cold void of space, beyond the orbit of Pluto, something stirred. A fleet of sleek, dark ships hovered in the shadow of a distant asteroid. These ships belonged to the Vorthax, an ancient alien empire that had once ruled entire galaxies. But now, they were refugees, on the run from a force that had shattered their homeworld. The Vorthax leader, Commander Xylan, stood on the bridge of the largest ship. His 4 glowing eyes scanned the holographic display of the solar system. The image zoomed in on Earth, showing its blue oceans and green lands. It looked vibrant, alive, so unlike the desolation the Vorthax had left behind. "Is it worth the risk?" one of his officers asked. Xylan's voice was cold and calculated. "We have no choice. Our resources are dwindling. If this species is primitive, they will serve us. If they resist, they will fall." The silent approach. The Vorthax fleet moved closer, using their advanced cloaking technology to remain invisible to Earth's satellites. They watched silently, studying Earth's broadcasts and communications. What they saw puzzled them. Humans were chaotic, divided, and obsessed with trivial things. Yet, hidden within their broadcasts were signs of potential, a fiery resilience, a determination to survive against all odds. Xylan frowned as he watched clips of wars, revolutions, and disasters. "They are volatile," he muttered. "But there is strength in their chaos. We must tread carefully." The crash. Despite their caution, not everything went as planned. A small Vorthax scout ship malfunctioned while entering Earth's atmosphere. It spiraled out of control, crashing into a dense forest near a remote village. The explosion lit up the night sky, drawing the attention of locals. Curious villagers rushed to the scene, their flashlights cutting through the smoke and debris. What they found was unlike anything they had ever seen. A sleek, metallic craft with strange symbols etched into its surface. Inside, they discovered fragments of alien technology and the body of a Vorthax soldier. Its glowing eyes flickered weakly before dimming forever. The villagers didn't understand what they were looking at, but they knew it was important. They took photos and videos, quickly sharing them on social media before authorities arrived. The cover-up. The crash site was soon swarmed by government agents in black uniforms. They confiscated the villagers' phones, silencing anyone who had seen the wreckage. The area was sealed off, and the official story was simple. A weather balloon exploded. But Emily Carter, still haunted by the strange signal, stumbled across one of the leaked photos online. Her heart raced as she studied the image. The symbols on the wreckage matched patterns she had seen in the signal. "This isn't a coincidence," she whispered. The survivor. What no one realized was that a single Vorthax soldier had survived the crash. Injured but determined, it crawled out of the wreckage and hid in the shadows of the forest. Its suit emitted a faint signal, a distress beacon calling back to the fleet. The Vorthax aboard the mothership received the signal. Xylan's expression darkened as he listened to the garbled transmission. "Earth is more dangerous than we thought," the voice of the injured soldier warned. "Their defenses are primitive, but unpredictable." Xylan clenched his fists. "If they know of us, we must act before they prepare." The gathering storm. Meanwhile, Emily began piecing together the connections between the signal, the crash, and the sudden surge of classified government activity. She tried to warn her colleagues, but they dismissed her as paranoid. Undeterred, she reached out to Raj again, sharing the new evidence. Raj was alarmed. "If this is what I think it is, Emily, we're not dealing with a random alien species. This could be an empire. And if they're here, it's not for peace." Emily felt a chill run down her spine. She realized the crash wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. The decision. Back on the Vorthax mothership, Attilan faced a critical decision. The humans had seen too much. Their technology might not match the Vorthax, but their unpredictability made them a threat. "We must act swiftly," Xylan declared to his council. "We will strike before they have a chance to resist." The Vorthax ships powered up their weapons, their dark hulls glinting ominously against the backdrop of space. But even as the fleet prepared for war, Xylan couldn't shake a strange unease. Humans were unlike any species the Vorthax had encountered before. They were chaotic, yes, but that chaos hid something terrifying. A stubborn will to survive at any cost. And for the first time in his long career, Xylan wondered if they had underestimated their prey. The first encounter. The forest where the Vorthax scout ship had crashed was now eerily quiet. Government agents had cordoned off the area, their vehicles hidden under camouflage tarps. Inside the makeshift command center, Commander Harris of the Global Defense Initiative, GDI, examined the alien wreckage with a mixture of awe and unease. "This isn't from Earth," Harris said, holding a piece of strange alloy that shimmered under the light. "If this is a scouting mission, what happens when the main force arrives?" The soldier in the shadows. Unbeknownst to the humans, the surviving Vorthax soldier had crept deeper into the forest. Its advanced suit healed some of its injuries, but the pain was overwhelming. It activated its translator module, piecing together Earth's languages from intercepted broadcasts. "They call this place Earth," the soldier muttered to itself, its voice distorted but steady. Primitive, yet dangerous. The soldier's priority was clear: survival and transmission. It needed to warn the fleet about Earth's surprising resilience. As it limped through the undergrowth, it encountered a lone camper, a man who had set up a tent far from the commotion of the crash. The man froze when he saw the alien. His instincts screamed to run, but his curiosity held him in place. Who are you?" the camper stammered. The Vorthax soldier tilted its head, analyzing the human. Instead of attacking, it spoke in a broken version of English. "Not your enemy. Need help." The camper, despite his fear, decided to help. He gave the alien water and allowed it to rest near his fire. In return, the Vorthax explained its mission. Though in fragmented sentences, the camper began to understand. This alien wasn't here by choice. It was running from something. The warning escapes. At the crash site, Emily Carter had managed to sneak past the perimeter. She wasn't the type to let rules or fear stop her when the truth was at stake. Hiding behind bushes, she used her binoculars to watch as scientists and soldiers examined the wreckage. Emily noticed something strange. The symbols etched into the craft's surface matched the patterns from the original signal. Her heart raced as she realized what it meant. The crash was connected to the signal they had ignored. Before she could leave, she overheard a conversation between two agents. "Command says this isn't just a random crash," one of them whispered. "They think more of them are out there, watching us." Emily's worst fears were confirmed. Humanity wasn't alone, and their visitors weren't friendly. An unlikely alliance. Meanwhile, the Vorthax soldier and the camper reached an uneasy understanding. The alien explained its plight. Its people were on the run, seeking refuge. But Earth wasn't just a random stop. It was a test. If humans were weak, the Vorthax would conquer. If they were strong, they might become allies. The camper asked, why not just ask for help instead of attacking? The soldier hesitated. The strong only respect strength. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of helicopters overhead. The GDI had tracked the soldier's faint signal. The camper tried to hide the alien, but it was too late. Soldiers surrounded the area, their weapons drawn. "Step away from the creature," barked a GDI officer. The camper raised his hands, trying to reason with them. "It's not here to hurt us. It just wants to survive." The Vorthax soldier stood tall, its glowing eyes scanning the humans. It activated a small device on its wrist, sending a final encrypted message to the fleet. The first shot. Misunderstandings turned deadly. A nervous soldier, mistaking the alien's actions as hostile, fired a shot. The bullet grazed the Vorthax soldier's shoulder, and it retaliated instinctively, releasing an energy pulse that knocked several humans to the ground. Chaos erupted. The camper shouted for them to stop, but the forest became a battlefield. The alien fought defensively, using non-lethal tactics to escape. Despite its injuries, it managed to outmaneuver the soldiers, disappearing into the dense woods. As silence returned, Commander Harris arrived at the scene. He glared at his men. "You just fired on an intelligent life form. Do you realize what you've done?" The call to action. Back at the observatory, Emily received an urgent message from Raj. He had intercepted a fragment of the alien's encrypted transmission. "Emily, this changes everything," Raj said, his voice trembling. The signal wasn't just a distress call, it was a warning. These aliens aren't just fleeing their own destruction. They're testing us. If we show weakness, they'll invade. If we fight back, they'll respect us. Emily felt a chill. "Then what do we do?" Raj hesitated. "We need to show them we're strong, but not reckless. If we escalate this too quickly, we might trigger a war we can't win." The signal repeats. In the quiet of space, the Vorthax fleet received the soldier's transmission. Commander Xylan analyzed the message, his expression grim. "The humans fought back," Xylan muttered. "They are not as primitive as they seem." His officers exchanged uneasy glances. Humanity's unpredictability was unlike anything they had encountered before. For the first time, Xylan felt doubt creeping into his mind. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered. "If they resist, we will strike. But if they prove their worth, perhaps they can become more than prey." As the Vorthax ships moved closer to Earth, the original signal began to echo across the stars once again. This time, humanity would not ignore it. The alien invasion plan. The Vorthax fleet hovered in the cold void beyond Mars, their cloaking technology shielding them from Earth's primitive detection systems. Inside the command ship, Commander Xylan stood before a massive holographic display of Earth. His officers gathered around him. The projection zoomed in on key locations: military bases, power grids, and communication hubs. "Their infrastructure is fragile," Xylan said, his voice calm but calculating. "A surgical strike on their key systems will render them defenseless. After that, we will determine their usefulness or their extinction." The Council of Vorthax leaders murmured their approval. But one officer, a younger strategist named Kyrax, hesitated. "Commander," Kyrax said cautiously, "the humans are unpredictable. Their history shows a tendency to unite under pressure. If we underestimate them, they could become a greater threat than we anticipate." Xylan's glowing eyes narrowed. "Do you doubt the might of the Vorthax Empire?" Kyrax straightened. "No, Commander. I only suggest caution. If we misstep, we may lose more than we gain." Xylan waved a dismissive hand. "Your concerns are noted, Kyrax, but we cannot afford hesitation. Begin preparations for the strike. A race against time." On Earth, Emily Carter and Raj Patel were racing against the clock. Using intercepted fragments of the alien transmissions, they had pieced together a chilling revelation. The Vorthax were planning a coordinated attack on Earth's critical systems. "This isn't just an invasion," Raj said, his face pale. "It's a test. They want to see how we respond." Emily nodded, her mind racing. "If we panic, we fail. If we don't act fast enough, we fail. It's a trap no matter what we do." They decided to contact General Mark Rivers, a high-ranking military official known for his unorthodox tactics. Convincing him to listen to a pair of civilian scientists wasn't easy, but Emily's evidence, photos from the crash site, fragments of the signal, and Raj's decryption left no room for doubt. General Rivers leaned back in his chair, his jaw tight. "So you're saying we're being tested by an alien species that sees us as, what? Prey? More like potential allies, or slaves," Raj said grimly. "It depends on how we respond." Rivers stood. "Then we have no choice. We show them what humanity is made of." The preemptive strike. Under Rivers' command, Earth's nations united in a way not seen in decades. Satellites were reprogrammed to scan for anomalies, and experimental weapons were brought out of storage. One such weapon, a prototype electromagnetic pulse (EMP) system, was installed on a stealth drone. The goal was simple: locate one of the Vorthax ships and disable it before it could launch its attack. As the drone approached the outer edge of Earth's atmosphere, Emily and Raj watched the live feed from the control room. The tension was palpable. "Are we sure about this?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Raj didn't look away from the screen. "We don't have a choice." The drone's sensors picked up a faint energy signature, something massive, and moving silently. It was a Vorthax scout ship. "Target acquired," the operator announced. With a single command, the EMP was unleashed. A blinding pulse of energy erupted, and the alien ship flickered like a dying star. Moments later, it began to spiral out of control, crashing into the ocean. Cheers erupted in the control room, but Emily felt no relief. She stared at the screen, her chest tight with unease. "They'll know," she said softly. "They'll know we attacked first." The Vorthax reaction. On the command ship, Xylan watched the footage of the scout ship's destruction. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes burned with a cold fury. "The humans have struck first," he said, his voice echoing across the bridge. "They are more capable than we thought." Kyrax, standing to the side, spoke cautiously. "Commander, their response proves their potential. They may be worth more as allies than as enemies." Xylan turned to him, his tone icy. "You see wisdom in their defiance." Kyrax nodded. "Their ability to adapt and innovate under pressure is unique. Perhaps we should consider negotiation." The room fell silent. Xylan's gaze lingered on Kyrax before he finally spoke. "Negotiation is a sign of weakness. The Vorthax Empire does not beg. We conquer." He turned to his officers. "Deploy the strike teams. Let them see the might of the Vorthax." The warning ignored. As alien ships began to descend into Earth's atmosphere, Emily's fears were confirmed. The Vorthax had not been deterred by the preemptive strike. They had been provoked. Reports flooded in. Strange objects were appearing over major cities, their presence triggering mass panic. Governments scrambled to maintain order, but the chaos was overwhelming. Emily and Raj worked tirelessly in the observatory, searching for any clue that might help humanity fight back. It was Raj who found it, a fragment of the original signal, hidden in the noise. "This isn't just a test," Raj said, his voice shaking. "It's a warning. The Vorthax aren't just running from us. They are running from something else. Something worse." Emily's heart sank. If we survive this, we might not survive what's coming next. The calm before the storm. As the first wave of Vorthax ships hovered over Earth, humanity braced for the inevitable. But something strange happened. The ships didn't fire. They simply hovered, their presence a silent threat. From the command ship, Xylan sent a final message to Earth. His voice, cold and commanding, echoed across every screen and radio. "You have shown strength, but strength alone is not enough. We will decide your fate. Prepare yourselves." The message ended, leaving the world in stunned silence. Emily looked at Raj. "What does that mean?" Raj shook his head. "I don't know, but whatever it is, we're not ready for it. Humanity strikes first. The sky above Earth darkened, not from storm clouds but from the shadow of the Vortex fleet. The alien ships hovered menacingly over major cities, their presence like a sword hanging by a thread. Humanity waited, tense and breathless, for the first strike. But it never came. Instead, the Vortex seemed content to watch. Their ships moved in coordinated patterns, scanning, observing, and gathering data. It was a psychological game, and it was working. The people of Earth were on edge, their fear mounting with each passing hour. In the Global Defense Initiative's command center, General Rivers slammed his fist on the table. We can't just sit here waiting for them to make the first move. We need to show them that humanity doesn't back down. Emily Carter, sitting in the corner, spoke up hesitantly. General, we don't fully understand their capabilities. If we act recklessly, we might provoke them further. Rivers stared at her, his expression hard. Dr. Carter, they're already here. That's provocation enough. The plan. The GDI had developed a bold strategy, a surprise strike using a weapon they had never tested in combat. Dubbed the Hammer, it was a satellite-based kinetic bombardment system capable of delivering devastating strikes from orbit. The target, the Vortex command ship hovering above the Pacific Ocean. Rivers explained the plan to his team. The Vortex think they're untouchable in their ships. The Hammer will prove them wrong. We hit their leader, and the rest will scatter. Emily's stomach churned. She understood the logic, but something about the plan felt off. What if it doesn't work? She asked. Then we've shown them that humanity fights back, Rivers said, his voice unwavering. The strike. The operation began under the cover of night. A small fleet of drones was launched to distract the Vortex ships, drawing their attention away from orbit. As expected, the aliens easily neutralized the drones, their weapons precise and efficient. But while the Vortex focused on the drones, the Hammer was silently activated. In a control room deep underground, operators guided the weapon into position. On the main screen, the command ship appeared as a glowing silhouette against the vast ocean below. Target locked, the operator announced. Rivers gave the command. Fire. A massive rod of tungsten, accelerated to hypersonic speeds, hurtled toward the alien ship. It struck with the force of a meteor, piercing the ship's shields and slamming into its hull. The resulting explosion lit up the night sky, a blinding flash visible for miles. The aftermath. Cheers erupted in the control room. Rivers grinned triumphantly. That's how we do it. But Emily didn't share his enthusiasm. She stared at the screen, her heart pounding. Something wasn't right. As the smoke cleared, the alien command ship began to glow. Its damaged hull started repairing itself, the metal knitting together like a living organism. Within moments, it was fully restored, its lights blazing with renewed intensity. The room fell silent as the ship launched a counterattack. A beam of energy shot down from the sky, destroying the facility where the Hammer had been controlled. Emily whispered, "We've only made them angrier." The shift in the balance. On board the Vortex command ship, Commander Silent stood unfazed by the attack. If anything, he looked amused. "They are resourceful," he admitted, turning to his officers, "but they lack the power to defeat us. Still, they have earned a response." Kyrax, the cautious strategist, stepped forward. "Commander, their ingenuity is worth considering. Perhaps we can use this to our advantage." Xylan's gaze hardened. "We will. By showing them the futility of their defiance." The rallying cry. Back on Earth, the destruction of the Hammer facility sent shockwaves through the global military. The Vortex ships began to descend, their weapons targeting military bases and key infrastructure. It was not an all-out assault, but precise, surgical strikes that crippled Earth's defenses. Despite the losses, something remarkable happened. Across the globe, ordinary people began to resist. Civilians formed militias, using whatever resources they had to defend their homes. Engineers worked around the clock to repair damaged systems. Scientists shared data, hoping to find a weakness in the Vorthax technology. Emily, Raj, and a growing team of experts worked tirelessly in their underground lab. They analyzed the energy signature of the alien weapons, searching for patterns they could exploit. "This isn't just a war of technology," Emily said. "It's a war of determination. If we give up, we lose. But if we keep fighting—" Raj finished her sentence. "We might just have a chance." The twist. As humanity rallied, an unexpected signal was detected. It wasn't from Earth, nor was it from the Vorthax. It came from deep space, far beyond the reach of any known technology. Emily's eyes widened as she decoded the message. It's not just the Vorthax. There's something else out there. Raj leaned over her shoulder, reading the message. His face turned pale. It's a warning. The message was simple but chilling. If you survive the Vorthax, beware. We are coming. Emily whispered. What have we started? The fall of the alien empire. The Vorthax fleet, once the pride of a galactic empire, was now in full assault mode. Their ships unleashed precise, calculated strikes on Earth's defenses, dismantling key infrastructures with chilling efficiency. But even as they advanced, cracks were beginning to show in their once impenetrable armor. The human counterstrike. In the underground lab, Emily Carter and Raj Patel worked tirelessly with their team to uncover the Vorthax's weaknesses. After days of analysis, they finally had a breakthrough. Raj slammed his fist on the table, eyes wide with excitement. It's their power source. Their ships use a fusion core that's vulnerable to electromagnetic disruption. Emily nodded, her mind racing. If we can create a high-frequency EMP tuned to their energy signature, we could overload their systems. But there was a catch. The EMP had to be delivered directly into the heart of the Vorthax command ship, a near-suicidal mission. General Rivers, battered and exhausted but still resolute, didn't hesitate. We'll do it. Humanity has always risen to impossible challenges. This will be no different. The mission. A team of volunteers, including elite pilots and engineers, prepared to carry out the daring plan. They would pilot a retrofitted stealth shuttle, equipped with the EMP device, straight into the command ship's shielded interior. As the shuttle launched, the world watched in tense silence. Emily and Raj monitored the mission from the lab, their hands trembling as they guided the team remotely. The shuttle weaved through the Vorthax fleet, dodging laser fire and narrowly avoiding detection. Inside, the crew worked in perfect harmony, their faces etched with determination. Target in sight, the pilot announced as the command ship loomed ahead, its glowing hull the symbol of alien dominance. The turning point. The EMP device was activated and released into the Vorthax command ship's ventilation system. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the ship's lights flickered, its shields faltering. Across the fleet, other ships began to malfunction, their systems linked to the same energy network. Inside the command ship, Island staggered as alarms blared around him. "What is happening?" he roared. Kyrax, ever the voice of reason, replied calmly. "The humans. They've found our weakness." Island's eyes burned with rage. Impossible. They're a primitive species. But even as he spoke, his fleet was crumbling. Ships lost power, spiraling out of control and crashing into the oceans below. Earth's forces seized the opportunity, launching coordinated strikes to take down the remaining vessels. The end of the Vorthax Empire. The Vorthax, once rulers of countless worlds, were now powerless. Island, realizing his empire's fall, stood in silence on the bridge of his ship. The lights dimmed, and the once mighty vessel drifted aimlessly. Kyrax turned to him. "Commander, this is the end of the Vorthax. We underestimated them." Island clenched his fists, his voice a mix of anger and sorrow. "We were blinded by our arrogance. They are not prey. They are survivors." With a final command, Island ordered the surviving Vorthax ships to retreat into deep space. A hollow victory. On Earth, celebrations erupted as the skies cleared of alien ships. Humanity had won, but the cost was staggering. Cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, and the Earth itself bore the scars of battle. In the underground lab, Emily and Raj shared a bittersweet moment of triumph. "We did it," Raj said, his voice trembling. Emily nodded, but her expression was somber. "We survived. But for how long?" The greater threat. As humanity began to rebuild, a new signal was detected, this time stronger, clearer, and unmistakably alien. It wasn't a distress call, nor was it from the Vortex. Emily, now regarded as one of Earth's heroes, deciphered the message alongside Raj. Their faces went pale as the meaning became clear. "You have defeated the Vortex. But they were only the first. We are the true threat. Prepare yourselves." The signal's source was tracked to a distant star system, far beyond the reach of Earth's technology. Yet, the warning was clear. Something far more dangerous was coming. A glimmer of hope. Despite the looming threat, humanity had proven its resilience. Emily stood before a crowd, delivering a speech broadcast worldwide. "We faced the Vortex, a force far beyond anything we've ever known, and we survived. Not because of our technology, not because of our weapons, but because of our spirit. The battles ahead will be harder. The stakes will be higher. But if we stand together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Humanity will endure." The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices a beacon of hope in a world forever changed. Humanity's victory. The world, though battered and scarred, began to rebuild. Debris from fallen alien ships was scattered across cities, forests, and oceans, a haunting reminder of the battle humanity had barely survived. Yet within the wreckage lay the seeds of hope, a treasure trove of alien technology waiting to be studied and understood. At the Global Defense Initiative headquarters, Emily Carter and Raj Patel were at the forefront of this effort. Teams of scientists worked tirelessly to reverse engineer the Vortex tech, hoping to prepare Earth for the ominous warning that had followed the Vortex retreat. The Vortex's gift. Amid the ruins of the Vortex command ship, a small, undamaged artifact was discovered. It was a black orb, smooth and featureless, but it hummed with faint energy. Emily and Raj examined it with a mix of caution and curiosity. "This doesn't look like a weapon," Raj remarked, tilting his head as he scanned it with their newly developed tools. Emily frowned. "What if it's not meant to harm us? What if it's a message?" When activated, the orb projected a hologram of Commander Tylan. His 4 glowing eyes stared down at them, his voice grave. "Humans of Earth," the hologram began, "you have proven yourselves worthy. The Vortex underestimated your strength, your ingenuity, and your will to survive. Though my empire has fallen, I leave you this gift, a map to the knowledge of our civilization. Use it wisely. But beware, the greater threat we fled from will come for you, as it did for us." The hologram faded, leaving Emily and Raj stunned. "A map," Raj said, his voice trembling. "This could change everything." The race against time. As the map was decrypted, it revealed the location of a distant repository, a Vortex vault hidden on a desolate moon in another star system. It was said to contain advanced technology, weapons, and knowledge that could give Earth a fighting chance against the looming threat. But humanity wasn't alone in deciphering the message. Across the galaxy, other civilizations had intercepted fragments of the Vortex signal. The race for the vault had begun. General Rivers convened a global council, uniting the world's resources to construct Earth's first interstellar ship, the Resolute. Built using both human and Vortex technology, it was a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability. "This ship," Rivers declared, "is not just a vessel. It's a symbol of our determination to survive. The journey to the unknown." Emily and Raj, now heroes in their own right, were chosen to join the crew of the Resolute, alongside the brightest minds and bravest warriors Earth had to offer. They embarked on a mission to claim the vault before it fell into the hands of others, or worse, the unknown enemy. The journey was fraught with danger. The crew encountered alien remnants, hostile worlds, and remnants of the Vorthax fleet, survivors who had turned into scavengers. But with every challenge, humanity's unity and ingenuity shone through. The final revelation. Upon reaching the desolate moon, the Resolute found the vault guarded by automated defenses left behind by the Vorthax. The crew worked together to disable the traps and gain entry. Inside, they discovered vast halls filled with alien artifacts, data, and weapons. But at the center of the vault was something unexpected. A message from an extinct Vorthax elder, preserved in crystalline form. The elder's voice resonated through the chamber. To those who find this vault, the Vorthax once believed we were invincible. But we were wrong. The true threat is not a fleet, nor an empire. It is a force that consumes all, leaving nothing but silence. You must prepare. Unite your people, learn from our mistakes, and stand together, for only then can you hope to survive what is coming. A new beginning. With the knowledge and resources from the vault, humanity returned to Earth. The technology they had acquired accelerated advancements in energy, defense, and medicine. Earth transformed into a world no longer divided by borders, but united by a shared purpose. Survival. Emily, speaking before a global assembly, echoed the elder's words. We cannot afford to repeat the arrogance of the Vorthax. We are strong, but our strength lies in our unity. The road ahead will not be easy, but together, we can face whatever comes our way. The crowd erupted into applause, their voices filled with hope. The final warning. As humanity celebrated its newfound unity and strength, a strange anomaly appeared in the sky. A massive rift opened, spilling forth a darkness that swallowed the stars. From the rift, a single chilling message was broadcast across the globe. We have arrived. But this time, humanity was ready.